Hey everyone, Jared Tate here, the founder of the DigiByte blockchain, and I wanted to bring you a holiday Thanksgiving update, not only on DigiByte, but a few things that affect me personally. But before I do that, first and foremost, I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you can spend some downtime with your family and you can take a little break from all this chaos that's unfolding in the world right now. So first and foremost, I want to talk about what's happening with DigiByte development, because I think that's what a lot of you probably care about, and then I'll get into some other things. So first and foremost, work is still being done on 8.22. Like I've said in the past, I believe this is the most comprehensive update and the best code review we've ever had. However, that process does take time. So currently, I think we're about 95% done with it. I actually think we're ready to merge, to finish the 8.22 merge and merge it into our develop branch so we can start addressing other things. But a few weeks ago, we actually encountered a really rough bug, probably one of the worst bugs I've ever experienced as a developer with the Dandelion code. And the reason for that is first of all, Bitcoin Core doesn't have Dandelion, but there's actually a significant amount of rework that affects the way transactions are relayed and handled, as well as mempool rework. And, Bitcoin has had the most development in the past year and a half it's probably had more development in the last year and a half than it has in the previous 9 years before that. I mean, there's just hundreds of developers. There's a lot of good stuff. And so the jump from Bitcoin 0.21 to Bitcoin version 2.2, there's just a tremendous amount of work done. And we benefit from that. One of those big benefits that'll be in 8.22 that you've heard a lot about recently is Taproot, right? There's that, and there's a myriad of other things. I mean, we're looking at 120,000 lines of code that have changed. So I want to first off say thank you to everybody that's helped with that process. It's working, it's going, and I can promise you 8.22 is going to be the best version that DigiByte's ever had. And those that are out there saying to the contrary or trying to spread FUD and rumors, hey, you know what? Come help us. Come work on it. You're more than welcome to start coding. Anybody can. And the more help, the more we appreciate. That brings me into the next issue. And that is, I want to first up apologize to everybody for not getting my podcast, Crypto Veracity, out yet. As some of you may know, I actually had a MacBook failure. I spent about 3.5 weeks putting stuff together, putting graphics, video images, a bunch of stuff I did myself, my own image editing, video editing. And when I had updated my MacBook to the latest OS, I didn't make sure, for whatever reason, my backup stopped. Well, I was in the process of editing the final podcast, and I actually had a complete logic board failure and lost about 3.5 weeks of data. And then I spent about 2 weeks trying to get it back, and it was a complete pain in the butt. And I learned a valuable lesson, which is, first and foremost, don't give hard dates, which I've learned in the past, mainly because it's better to under-promise and over-deliver. And that's something we were known for a long time, and we've been consistent at in the past. But also make sure that your backups are all set up. Thankfully, I only lost a few weeks after, before the update, but just, as a heads up to everybody out there. And then the next thing is, as some of you may know, I was recently suspended from Twitter again. I'm not going to go into the details and everything, but basically I was sharing publicly available court documents that were covered by multiple mainstream media sources. But I know Twitter has an axe to grind with me, so I'm pretty sure I probably won't be on that platform forever. You can follow me on Telegram, you can follow me on Gitter, and then obviously here on YouTube. I'm going to start a Rumble channel. I'm going to try and be as decentralized in my social media approach as I can be. And that brings me to another thing that I wanted to kind of address. I've received a ton of criticism in the past, which is, hey, criticism is part of the game. I embrace it. I learn from it. I take it in, and that's all we can do, right, to continue to grow. But I have a tendency to get very enthusiastic about new ideas and share them early on when they're just that, ideas. One of those, some of them in the past, the idea for DigiDollar. Another one is this idea for a decentralized, censorship-resistant social media. I would love to get Libertas off the ground. However, after spending a fair significant amount of time looking into it, it's going to require a tremendous amount of resources. And not only that, you're still, if you create an app, you're still, restricted by the Apple Store, the Google App Play Store. If it's a website with a URL, that can be censored. There's a lot of things, but what I really believe is within the next 24 months, it's going to be much easier to build a truly decentralized social media on top of truly decentralized blockchains like DigiByte. But before we get there, we have to build the tool suite to allow that to be easier, right? And that's really what I had initially wanted to focus on in 2021 is how can we build a suite of developer tools to make it easier to develop on top of DigiByte, right? And that's what we were thinking of, working on called DigiSuite, as well as an advanced version of DigiAssets and some other things. However, as many of you know, we're all volunteers. We're not being paid. I don't get paid to put out these update videos. I don't get paid to, work or code. And I've actually spent the majority of the last, 4 months working on DigiByte stuff. And that comes as an expense for me personally, because I still got to pay the bills and put food on the table. So I'm not working on my own personal projects, which there are some very good ideas and projects that I am working on that I have not publicly shared that will tremendously benefit DigiByte. But the reason I'm not sharing them is, there's this notion, if you talk about it, people expect it the next day or the next week, and that's just not realistic. So that's where I'm definitely taking the approach. Hey, I want to underpromise, overdeliver, and when it's ready, right? But, I can only work on stuff when I have the time and the focus and the resources. But like I said, I still have to, put a roof over my head and food on the table just like everybody else. Which brings me to my next thing. I do want to really thank all of you who have really helped, with 8.22. Yoshi, Barry, we've had our issues in the past, but, we've been collaborating here in the last few weeks and along with other people, and I encourage everybody to get involved. The more developers we can have, the more positivity we can create, the better it's going to be for everyone moving forward. And I really believe, it may not seem like it to some of you, but DigiByte is in the best possible position it could be moving into 2022 and 2023. I am aware of several projects that I believe are going to be really successful, that people are working away on. They're not making a bunch of hype about it, but they're focused and they're working hard. That's going to benefit DigiByte, moving into, the next couple of years. So I think, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of things going on in the world right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, but that is good for blockchain and truly decentralized blockchain tech in the long run, like DigiByte, because I believe censorship resistant, censorship proof, truly decentralized blockchain technology is how we fix a lot of the problems that are in the world today. And it doesn't matter, which side of your political beliefs you have. Doesn't matter, what your background is, where you're from in the world. We all can benefit from truly decentralized blockchain technology. And that's why, almost 9 years later, I think I'm more passionate about the potential now and understanding the gravitas of why it's needed than I ever was, even in 2013, 2014. So, I really am very optimistic. With that being said, like I said, I'd love to get more people involved with 8.22 development. I think we're to a point, where we are ready to merge it. However, we still got to fix this dandelion bug. We will get through it. Then we can start talking about other things. If the community really wants an algo swap and there's really a solid reason, then yeah, we should do it. But it needs to be peer reviewed and it can't just be one person's agenda pushing it. And that includes myself, right? The more, as we grow as a community, as we develop new procedures, and new things, it's just going to make everything better in the long run for all of us. So with that being said, I personally am waiting, to do my podcast until I can actually do a full launch. I'm not going to give a specific date, mainly because I want it to be good. I want it to be done right, and I want people to enjoy it, right? I also don't want to be censored and, only reach a fraction of the audience that I might. So also, I need to take care of some personal stuff for the next couple of weeks. One of those things, I haven't seen my own daughter in 6 months because I've basically between COVID restrictions, people getting sick, working, and all these other things, I haven't been able to do that, and that's kind of really gnawing at me. I also have to do a move and a couple other personal things, but I am around. If people submit code, it needs review, I'll be there. But come mid-December and come the beginning of 2022, we're going to go full steam ahead, and I am very optimistic for what 2022 brings for all of us and for DigiByte. So with that, once again, I want to say I'm very thankful for all of you that are out there. I encourage you to get involved however you see fit. I encourage everyone to stay positive. Let's build some momentum, and let's stay strong this holiday season, and keep everything in perspective. Things are gonna change for the better. I really believe that. So, with that, once again, hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you very much, and cheers.